pleasure to go ahead and introduce Mr. Chaz Edwards. Ladies and gentlemen, Chaz Edward.
Hey everybody, can everyone hear me? Do I need to adjust anything? All right. Well, today we're going to talk about brand prominence versus Possum and proximity, some local ranking factors. So we're going to talk about GMBs and local search and everything Google Maps. And at the end we'll have some open question and answers. If anybody has any questions, write them down. We'll do our best to give you the best answers we can at the end. But hopefully at the end of this, you'll be able to see how you can use local SEO in 2017 and some strategies that you can employ to get the best results for your clients. So first, briefly, everybody's probably familiar with Possum, but I'll go over it for anybody that's not into local SEO. Possum's a new algorithm by Google that filters 3-pack search results. Sometimes you can see up to 75% of local businesses could be filtered. And they're filtering based on address, same owner, same affiliation, and proximity to each other. So there's multiple ways they're being filtered, and they're affecting a ton of local businesses. But there are strategies you can use to get around this. And if you're in local SEO or any type of digital marketing for local businesses, you need to know this stuff. You need to know how to get them unfiltered if possible, and the strategies you can use. A couple quick examples. I just pulled one from Hanover. You can see a cosmetic dentist. The first one's a map result. Literally, there's 4 listings there. But if you click in and you actually go to see how many listings there are, there's pages of cosmetic dentists. But Google's only showing 4, and you can see at the very top they're showing an ad. So everybody thinks, the local search ads, that's why Possum came about. Google wants to sell more ads, so they're filtering local businesses. And you can see how it's impacting all those businesses. So if you're not one of those top 4, or your clients aren't one of those top 4 businesses, they're being filtered, they're getting no visibility from the local search. What is proximity? Again, proximity is probably the top local ranking factor right now. It's one thing that you really can't manipulate very well. There's really not a strategy to manipulate your GPS settings on your phone or your desktop, IP spoof, whatever. I mean, that's unrealistic. And what it's doing is cities now have multiple 3-packs. So before you might have been able to go grab a 3-pack for, personal injury attorney Las Vegas, and you'd show up in all Las Vegas for all those searches. Now you won't. Now it depends whether you're in, North Vegas, South Vegas, wherever in Vegas, you're going to pull multiple different 3-pack listings. And it's based on the search, based on how close you are to the businesses, right? So which businesses are going to show up is definitely based upon proximity. So what does this mean? Near me, neighborhood, and zip code based optimization is more important than ever, because you might not be able to show up for Las Vegas, but if you're optimizing for a particular section of Las Vegas, more likely you're going to show up then. You're going to have a higher likelihood to show up that way. And even though their search term might be, dentist Las Vegas, Google's looking to see where they're searching from, and they're going to make their best determination. And if they're saying, well, they're searching from North Vegas, they're going to pull up map results from North Vegas. And if you optimized your listing and your site and all your online profiles for North Vegas using, North Vegas keywords, zip code stuff, anything. I'm not from Vegas, but is there like a landmark in Vegas or something that you can, associate with your business? Then Google's going to eventually see that and may, make your business that you're optimizing appear versus a competitor's. So it increases opportunity to rank in neighborhoods, but less chance of ranking citywide. typically in larger cities. Smaller cities, you might actually have an opportunity to rank in other cities that you're not even located in. So there is a give and take there. But if you're a business or you deal with businesses in big cities, typically you will not be ranking citywide. You're going to be ranking neighborhoods or however Google's showing the new proximity searcher. And I'll show you an example of that. So here's two searches I did. Just for, I think it was plumber in Las Vegas. I didn't even use the Las Vegas keyword. I just used, one was a Planet Hollywood using their Wi-Fi, and the other one was using iSearch from, which was whatever their local IP is. But you can see both of them I'm in Vegas on both of them. I put in Vegas, and then I was obviously in Planet Hollywood. And you can see the different results. That's a Vegas search right there, pulling up completely different map packs. So there's multiple map packs in every city now, and you really need to dive down in and figure out how to optimize at a neighborhood level or at a near me level. And that slide's messed up. So brand prominence. Google tells us there's 3 basic ways or 3 things they're looking for to rank GMB listings: relevance, proximity, and prominence. Proximity we talked about. How close from you to the businesses, that's going to determine what type of map pack you're getting, right? We can't really affect that other than, optimizing at a neighborhood level. Relevance is, think of keywords, right? If they're searching for dentists and you're not doing dentistry, obviously you're not coming up. You're not relevant. So relevance, prominence is the big one that we can influence. And prominence measures a brand's visibility across offline and online factors. So it looks at issues like how well known is a brand in the real world? Are you a landmark? Are you an attraction? Obviously if you're dealing with a bar or a nightclub that's, maybe gets press mentions and very famous, or a historical landmark, or you have a business that's located in one of those or near one of them, those things come into play as offline factors. But the area that we want to focus on, obviously, is the online factors, the digital factors. And the things Google measures there would be links, articles, directory listings, basically your digital profile for the brand. It also measures things like your website ranking position. Your organic SERPs come into play. So these are all things that we can directly influence to a very high extent, right? We can influence a brand's prominence. We can take one brand and make it more prominent than another brand. It might take a lot of work, especially in high comp areas. I mean, it could take months sometimes. Especially when you're dealing in big cities, your competitors are spending on local SEO as well. You really have to dig down and fight for it. Like 3-pack rankings now in the high comp areas, it is a fight. Like you're fighting against every other local SEO, every other agency that's offering local optimization. But how do you increase a brand's web presence? Here's some strategies that we're going to talk about. Obviously, links. Links remains one of the top ranking factors. Proximity is number 1, then links are number 2. Press releases, blogs and articles, social media presence, paid ads, traffic engagement, and other online visibility strategies. We're going to go into some detail on each of these. Formatting's off. So where do you get local links from? Obviously, everybody knows about guest posts and blog outreach, broken link outreach, link exchange. You can use branded and niche Web 2s. Obviously, I got to talk about that. I own Web 2, Web 20 ranker. You can use paid links. I mean, some of these are going to be paid anyway. If you're doing guest posting, they're all manipulating Google, so don't worry about white hat versus black hat at this point. Worry about what's the best way you can get local links for your clients, right? And then once you get some links, you want to make sure you're using brand keywords, brand anchor text, location anchor text, and keyword anchor text, right? Make sure you use that brand plus city, niche plus city. Make sure you're using those. And where do you send those links to? Everybody says get links, but where do you send the links to? You want to send the links everywhere. You want to send them back to your client's website. You want to, if they have a My Map or a Google Sites site, those are parasites, by the way, which can help funnel relevance. Send links to those as well, right? You want to use the Google Plus built-in redirects for SEO purposes, especially if you're using like SEO press releases or anything. And those redirects would be /photos, /about. That's all going to send link juice back to your G Plus listing, right? Where else can you send links? Send links to the Google Plus reviews page, which would be your Google Plus URL /reviews. That actually sends links back to Google Maps. So those are places that's where to send your links. There we go. Local press, how to use local press. Obviously, you can use local SEO press releases. You can do outreach to your local press. You know, if whether you had, your client hired some new employees or they expanded, you can outreach to press that way. You can do local newspaper ads. Whether you do help wanted ads or sales ads, a lot of times if you reach out, they'll let you put links on the online portion of that, right? On the online newspaper, they'll give you a place to put links. Anytime you deal with local press, always ask for a link back to your website and to your Google Plus reviews page, right? That's that /reviews, Google Plus URL /reviews. That's going to send links back to your Google Maps listing. Anytime you're dealing with local newspapers, local press, make sure your brand name and NAP consistency is spot on. Google puts a ton of relevance on that stuff. Anytime a brand is mentioned in the local press, like that's some of the best thing you can do for a brand to increase its prominence. Get it mentioned in local press. And again, the same linking strategies using the Google Plus redirects and the Google Maps links. Make sure you use those when you're sending, if you're going to send links back. One thing I don't put up there is send links straight to your Google Plus. Don't do that. Use those redirects. Social media activity. Basically just posting and sharing on your Twitter or Facebook, Instagram maybe. What is that? It gives you implied links. It's another form of link building. Right? You don't even need to have an anchor text link to get credit for a link in Google's new patents anymore. As long as you mention the brand and Google can say that brand mention is definitely worth that brand, you got an implied link. Like you got credit for being mentioned on that platform. So that social activity gives you implied links, brand mentions. It also gives you traffic engagement, right? Engagement's a huge metric. The more that you can push people from social media clicking through to your website, to your client's website, like you're going to get rewarded for that. So that's between implied links and your traffic engagement, like that's a strategy that you should be employing if you're in local SEO. And again, anytime you're talking about this, and anytime you're writing, even if it's a little, a tweet, try to put either a brand keyword or something location. You want to have as much brand, location, and keyword relevance to this stuff as you can. You're going to send these social signals to your website, the same places you're going to send your regular links. These are links, right? These are implied links. Send them the same place that you do regular links. And again, Google Plus reviews page. Huge. That's your Google Maps. Paid ads, traffic engagement. And yes, it is a local SEO strategy. Whether Google says local AdWords affects rankings or not, it definitely does. Okay, I can tell you it does. You can go ahead and test it yourself. Run some AdWords Express. Run it for a couple months and watch. Eventually, you're going to pop right in that 3-pack. Like it's going to happen. And whether it's from running AdWords or whether it's from the traffic engagement that you're pushing back to the brand, I don't know. But whatever it is, it definitely helps, right? So if you're using landing pages, whether it's ClickFunnels or anything, get them on the domain. Make sure they're on your client's domain. That way the domain is getting credit for that traffic that you're sending back to it. Make sure you're linking back to the location page that's associated with the Google My Business listing, right, on that landing page. Put that link in. They're saying, typically when you build landing pages, you strip out any type of navigation. Put some type of anchor text link in back to your location page. Link that in. Add local ranking factors to that landing page as well, just like I talk about on a regular location page, whether it's talking about what you're nearby in the local city, right? So if you're in Vegas, what are you nearby? Talk about that on the landing page. Those are local ranking factors. And it makes your landing page then part of your location silo, right? So you're siloing this landing page to your actual location page that's associated with the GMB. And it funnels that relevance back up to that location page. The other one that we have good results from is Facebook ads, Facebook offers. For one local client, I actually ran a help wanted ad on Facebook. It was like, I might have spent $50 for it or whatever. And it literally was a help wanted ad. And I pushed them right back to the website. And I saw a massive increase in both organic and GMB rankings. And it was because I was sending traffic from social media to the website. I include the landing page I use, include those local ranking factors. There was an anchor text link back to the location page which in that case was Pittsburgh. And it works. These are strategies that actually do work, right? And I think it's all about engagement and traffic when you're using this. And even with Google AdWords, they say, we're not going to rank you higher if you buy AdWords, right? But if you're sending traffic to your client's website, your client's website has just became more prominent than the other guy's website because people are actually coming there versus the competitor's website, right? So you got to think of it that way as well. So hopefully that makes sense. And then other online strategies, job posting boards. We use those sometimes, not so much as for links, but brands that are expanding and growing. When Google sees that, if your competitors aren't putting, offering positions on job boards, but your company is, which one's more prominent again, right? Which one's Google's saying, well, this one, Google doesn't know if the business even exists, right? There's spam listings, there's real listings, there's listings that aren't in business anymore, there's ones that are just started up. So Google's trying to find out which businesses, that's where prominence is, right? So companies that are posting job posting boards, Google knows the company's still open, right? They're hiring, they're growing, they're prominent. That's one little strategy you can employ. Same thing with coupon offer sites, local event listing boards. A big one, GPS and navigation systems. Try to get your clients' listings on those. Those databases are crawlable. So if the car is using, some of the vehicles have their own proprietary systems. I know we've been really exploring that a lot, but their databases are crawlable. And you want to put your client in all of these. Everybody knows, your top citations. GPS and navigation systems are becoming as important as your top citations now. Other strategies you can use, obviously, forums and answers on, if there's specific niche answers that you can provide or that your client can, tell them to go out there and actually be on their posting. You don't actually have to link back to websites when you do this, because you have to remember, when you're doing some of these things, they don't all have to be anchor text links, right? They can be brand mentions. They can be implied links, and you're going to get credit for that. As long as your company name, address, phone number doesn't have to be anchor text. As long as you're putting that there and you're providing some type of engagement, like Google's going to recognize that and give you credit for implied links. And then the last one might scare a lot of people when you talk about scholarships. You're like, well, my client can't afford scholarships. That's only something lawyers can do. What about sponsorships? What about T-ball sponsorships or local athletic club sponsorships? So, a kid's sports team, if they have a website and you say, hey, my client wants to sponsor you for this much, start offering outreach to these local places like that. As long as they have a website where they can give you whether a link or an implied link back to the brand that you're trying to rank, this is well within reach for most small businesses. Like roofers. I was actually at my nephew's soccer game the other week, and I saw a trucking company advertising there. And if you go into the actual website of the soccer league, it was just a youth soccer league, there's actually brand mentions and implied links on there going back to these other companies. I guarantee you Google's going around there crawling that and saying these companies, one, the company exists, it's real, right? So it's not a spam company. Two, it's engaged in the community and it's more prominent than any other trucking company because they're not doing this. So if a trucking company is offering sponsorship versus one that isn't, those things online, it's a holistic approach. So you're trying to take a digital profile of a brand and put in as many elements as possible to make it as big and as powerful as possible. And when you take all those elements, and we talked about tons of these, add as many of these as you can, and then as long as you have more in your basket than the competitor's basket, your prominence factor that's where you want to be. Now, will you beat Possum? Will you beat proximity? Maybe. But that's the only way you're going to beat it, is if your basket's bigger than a competitor's basket. So hopefully I gave you some good strategies there. And my half hour is about up. Anybody have any questions?